How are you?
I'm good. What's up? How you doing?
Dude, what an epic chase. I cannot believe how much tire smoke this thing makes. This is incredible. So this is your Formula Drift car.
Yeah, it's my pro spec car.
This has a RB. What was your idea? What was the thought behind putting an RB in a BMW?
I do nothing but mostly RBs. I'm known for RBs, RB everything. I like E92 because of James Dean. And then Dorte came to my shop one time, the dyno. Dorte from HQ, Drift HQ, from his green E92. And at that time, I was trying to figure out what I'm gonna drive for Formula Drift, right? And I saw the car sitting on the dyno with this exact same kit. It's from, I think it's Duck Club is what it's called. And I was like, man, I like that. And then Dorothy goes, hey man, I have one. You want it? I'll give it to you for free. And then it's just downhill from there. So everybody has like an E92 with a JZ or an LS or you know, etc. But nobody has an E92 with an RB30 besides Jake. Jake has an E92.
RB32.
Yeah.
So it's a 3.2 liter.
It's a 3.2 liter. So it started out as RB30 from Australia because we built quite a few of those at my shop. And I've always used a Nitto stroker kit to make it a 3.2. And I was like, man, if I'm going to the big leagues, I might as well go with the best and represent. So I was like, oh, let's do 3.2 stroker, which is actually my crew chief's motor, Steve. This was his old motor to go in his R34. And he's like, hey, let's put it in a drift car. And here we are.
So then, how does it become 3.2? Is it a diesel block or something? Or like,
no,
what is the block?
This is actually a 3 liter, but it was single cam. So this comes out of like a Holden in Australia. And I think a few Japanese cars got the single cam 3 liter. But this one is from Australia. It's from a Holden, or I think R31's had it too. And then Nitto makes a 3.2 stroker kit for it that you just put in there. And then you can choose to put either a RB26 head or an RB25 head, or you can kick the single cam. But we all know RB26 is superior, so RB26 head it was.
They never even got this in Japan then, the 3 liter.
I'm not sure. I've heard of like R31s possibly having it. I can't say off of what I know that they definitely got it, but I think they did.
But it's such an interesting thing that you're using this power plant. I mean, there's so many things that you could use for this chassis and also for Formula Drift, but you decided to go with RB because it's, like you said, it's what you're known for.
Yeah, so like I have an R34 that's on the internet and it makes 1250. It's been reliable and you know, it's just kind of been breaking in and a bit because I've been getting an argument with people about power and what it make and reliability and all that. So no better way for me to promote my business by putting it in my drift car. Right?
Right.
I think only other car that's RB is Literal, but he doesn't have an RB30. And I do a lot of RB30s. So I was like, you know what? I'm going with RB30.
So then how do you get these blocks? Do you import them from Australia?
I'm lazy, so literally like Facebook Marketplace, the internet, who has it here? I'm afraid to try to import it myself just because, you know, the fear of like, you know, getting robbed or, you know, misplaced or something like that. So like, I think this one I bought from somebody out of Virginia that had a block completely stock. And then we just ordered a stroker kit from Nitto and took it to a machine shop and got it built.
Huh. So then in this configuration with this turbo, how much power does this make?
It's built for over 1,000, but we only use about 850. Actually, we don't even use 850 because it just destroys tires, so we turned it down.
And so in FD, you're running 850?
Yeah, because I'm in Pro Spec. So Pro Spec, we are limited to 55. To me, 1,000 horsepower is, I mean, it takes a lot of work to make 1,000 horsepower work with a 255 tire. So we already having problems with the power we're at now, trying to get the car to be as grippy as possible. So it's no need to turn it up all the way.
What a cool build, though. It's so awesome to see something like this. It is a little bit different. You know, there's so many BMW chassis.
Right.
But
I think I'm the only E92 in Pro Spec. I'm literally the only E92, probably in FD. I don't think there's an E92 in like Pro or Pro Spec.
So was this a bare chassis, or was this like a running, driving car?
I got my Pro Spec license 2 years ago, and we wasn't ready for Pro Spec, so I deferred for a year, but I was also worried that I wouldn't get in. So we was on the edge. So I built another car just like this, but just not as light and with power windows, et cetera, et cetera. But we test this power plant and this drivetrain in it so we could know that this is what I wanted to do for sure. Then we were on the waiting list for FD, and literally about probably 2 months, 2 weeks, they were like, all right, you're in, you're gonna run Pro Spec this year. And we just went crazy on my YouTube channel. You can check it out. And we went crazy. So about 2 months, this went from being a shell sitting in the lot at my shop to what it is now.
It's just so crazy. Just 2 months.
2 months. No sleep, obviously, no sleep at all. And then on top of that, we were lucky enough to get like Motegi, NRG, Nappy Boy, which is like one of our title sponsors, to help us get this car built just in time to make the first round at Road Atlanta for Pro Spec. So that was just perfect timing, really.
Have you had T-Pain drive this yet?
No, I want him to drive it, but I don't think he wants to yet. But I'll take him for a ride first, and then I'll let him drive it.
Wheel. I'm sure he could drive fine.
Listen, if T-Pain, you watch this, bro, like I've seen you on the come up, and I've been like, trying to give him advice and stuff. And like what I saw today at this track, he leveled up a lot. He linked this whole track, which is a go-kart track. It's technical, it's fast, it's slow, and he did not spin out. He didn't go in the grass, and he linked it with a car he only probably drove once. That's pretty good. It's a good job. Like literally, good job, T-Pain.
Love that. Let's talk about the rear end setup. Is it pretty much stock subframe?
So yeah, it is a stock subframe with solid bushings. I am sponsored by FDF. They didn't make a couple things that I don't have, so I did get, aftermarket parts to make it work. We are doing Winner's Quick Change. FDF did make the kit to mount it in there. We got dry shop axles. We were running out of time, so I didn't do a 2-brand. So the rear of the car is still stock frame rails with a bash bar. It's been good for the season so far. I say whenever I smack it into a wall, I'll go ahead and chop it up and save the rest of the weight that's there to be saved. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty much stock. Like stock bumper, carbon fiber trunk.
There's nothing stock about this car.
It's a stock bumper cut in half.
This is the craziest sounding drift car. I'm assuming the nitrous is not for all-out power. It's probably just for lag.
Right. So the nitrous is literally a spool aid, and we only really use it when we're at FD and probably chasing. It's a 3.2, so it's pretty healthy, so I don't need it. I didn't want nitrous to be like depended on, but I would like to just have it there as a just in case, because you get in a tight situation sometimes, you need nitrous.
What kind of transmission?
So this actually is another one of my great sponsors. It's SpeedTech from Australia. It's a stock RB25 box. It's the 4-speed dog set for 1,000 horsepower, which is really good. I was a little skeptical at first because everybody runs a G-Force. I used to have a G-Force. They sent me over the product. I put it in the car, and man, like, I am mind blown. So they changed me. My GSR just sits on the side. It's a great transmission, but the SpeedTech stuff works great because it bolts straight to the motor. I don't have to worry about, clearance and bearing this and bearing that. And it works just as good as any other dog box.
So you lose a gear.
No, the fifth gear is still there. It's four of the gears is dog, and then fifth is still a helical gear.
Oh.
Which I probably don't use, but I just leave it there, just to have it. And I still have reverse. It's just really good because since I work in a lot of RBs, I have a lot of RB25 trans. So if everything was ever to happen, I have a spare. Like it's a lot cheaper for my program. You know what I'm saying? And it hasn't let me down yet, so I'm not complaining. So big kudos to SpeedTech in Australia.
Love the dash. Really clean. Everything is just so clean in this. So then did you have to really modify this trans tunnel then?
So with with FD, you just got to make sure that if you got a 5-minute call or a 10-minute, you want to be able to access everything. And with me using the SpeedTech trans, they told me I have to have a scatter shield because I didn't have a SFI bell housing. So the front of the trans tunnel is a 1/4-inch thick to make it safe in case, a clutch explode, a bell housing explode or something. And the rest of it is really just, to make more space and ease to work on it in case we have to.
What a cool car, super unique. Love this build, very, very clean. Dude, I gotta check out your Skyline build.
You definitely got to come check that out.
Yeah, I wanna come by your shop
Yeah.
next time I'm in Florida. So you're in
Melbourne, Florida.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. I gotta come by. Yeah, I was watching this guy drive all day, and unfortunately we're on the big track, and you hit, what would you hit? The rumble?
Rumble strip. So I don't know, like Larry probably doesn't realize, but when he gets behind you with a car with a camera, you want to show out. That maybe it's just me, but I'm pretty sure it's everybody else. You get in front, he gets behind you and you're like, oh man, I got to do something really cool for his camera because his channel is just so good and the quality of all his videos is so good. So you want to just like show out. So I went in there, I chucked third, I e-brake, I like backed it in there, and then when I got on throttle, I ended up on the rumble strip, smacked an axle. So it's Larry's fault. I blame him in my video.
It is my fault, but you redeemed yourself.
I did.
We both redeemed ourselves
Right.
by doing a crazy chase here.
So
It was
we
super.
definitely got on the go-kart track and we made it happen, which is a lot better for, the chasing and stuff. You can get a lot closer and stuff. So I can't wait to see the footage.
I'm really surprised the way this drives as a FD legal car. It's pretty, I mean, like, it seems
Yeah.
like it's pretty loose versus like so tight. Like some of these cars are just wound up so tight and they just have so much grip. It seems like they're not, I don't know, they're not floaty as much.
Right. So all we did when we came here, since we know we was here, we actually left the same gear from St. Louis, because we left St. Louis and came straight here. And we upped the tire pressure a little bit. And, we just drive the car. These chassis really surprised me, because all I ever drove before was S chassis. So when I drove this and I realized like the handling is great, I was mind blown. So on top of like, being a free chassis, it's actually like a really good chassis, E92s. So can't complain.
Cool. Thank you so much.